Three men have been jailed after being found guilty of murdering Reece Heffernan. The 22-year-old was found stabbed on Romany Lane in Tilehurst in the early hours of the morning on October 31st. He was taken to hospital but died a short while later. Three men have been convicted of Reece's murder following a 5-week trial at Reading Crown Court. Unanimously, a jury decided they inflicted the fatal blow to Reece. 3 other people have previously been convicted for playing a part in the crime. Now, Carlos Daniel Capitão da Fonseca has been sentenced to life in prison. He must serve 27 years before he will be released. As well as murder, Fonseca was convicted by unanimous jury verdict of 1 count of conspiracy to supply a Class B controlled drug. Previously he had pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiring to pervert the course of justice. Tuviah Thompson Hordle was also sentenced to life in prison. He will spend a minimum of 24 years behind bars. Thompson Hordle was also found guilty by unanimous jury verdict of 1 count of conspiring to pervert the course of justice and conspiracy to supply a Class B controlled drug. Charles Lynch will spend 20 years detained at His Majesty's pleasure. Lynch was also found guilty by unanimous jury verdict 1 count of conspiring to pervert the course of justice. Earlier in the trial, he had pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to supply a Class B controlled drug. Lynch was 17 years old at the time of the incident and conviction. He has since turned 18 and is now able to be named. Previously, Senior Investigating Officer Detective Superintendent Andy Howard of Thames Valley Police's Major Crime Unit said this was a tragic incident in which a young man lost his life. Although not all of the defendants physically attacked Reece, 3 of them were proven to have played a part in his death. This was a chilling incident, both in terms of the speed of the attack on Reece, but also because I do not believe that Reece was the intended target for this group. The 3 males responsible for Reece's murder were intent on serious violence that night and they spent some time driving around Tilehurst before they saw Reece and 2 of his friends in Romany Lane. For reasons that remain known only to them, as they drove past Reece and his friends, they decided to launch a sudden and brutal attack, which tragically resulted in Reece's death. None of those convicted have taken any responsibility for their actions, either in carrying out this attack or in seeking to cover up evidence afterwards. I am pleased that the jury convicted the defendants on the basis of the evidence presented, and I would like to thank them for their careful consideration of the case. Rest in peace Reece Heffernan, condolences to the family.